Hi friends, welcome to Harmony Hills Home and Garden. I'm Jenny and we live and garden here in Baltimore, Maryland. I am currently sitting down here on my new patio that just got installed last week, and I am looking at all these plants that I recently purchased, and I'm trying to decide where to put them. I'm actually slightly continuing to landscape and plant up the area surrounding this lower patio. So come with me and let's see what plants we have available to us and where they're gonna go. Some of the plants that we can use are right here gathered up. We have Japanese anemone. Ooh, so pretty. This particular variety is Red Riding Hood. And this says that it blooms all summer from July through September. So we're at the end of September right now. These were nursery grown, so they're going to bloom a little bit longer than they will next year. But these are looking really, really beautiful. I love the color on them. Sort of a pink that fades to sort of a lavender with a yellow center with a green very center. Very nice. So Japanese anemone, Red Riding Hood. Super pretty. Next door to them, we have some Dicentra or bleeding heart. They have the beautiful pink hanging heart shapes. Now this one is not the spectabilis. This is Eczemia, cutleaf bleeding heart. And it is gorgeous. Now the tag at the nursery said that this will bloom all summer as well. I'm not sure because sometimes bleeding hearts die back in the heat of the summer, but we'll see. And I thought that these colors just go so nicely together. They kind of echo each other. Nice color echo there. I have two of these Marvel Mahonia. They are an evergreen shrub that they are shade loving, and these will grow to be, I believe it said 5 to 6 feet tall and 3 to 4 feet wide. The new growth has a lighter color with a little bit of red in it, and then the older growth is fades to a nice dark rich green. And these are shade lovers, so it's really nice to find a shade loving evergreen that is different from, say, a boxwood or something like that. I also have this Scarlet O'Hara Pieris japonica. This particular plant in this particular bucket has a lot of growth on it. It's already 3 feet tall, and it's got tons and tons of buds that are going to come out next spring in a beautiful white display of drooping, lovely little bell-shaped flowers all along those little sprays there. So this is going to be a gorgeous plant also. I have a variety of ground covers that are sold as steppables. So let's see. This is, I believe, I'm going to have to go back and look for the name of this. This is a planter that I did last year at my patio table, and it's been sitting on the patio table since then. This was a different variety. I can't remember exactly what this is. It's struggling to live, but I think if I use it in the ground, it might do better. This one has thrived, and I'm going to use that as a steppable as well. And then here is Sedum Wildfire, Oddity Hens and Chicks, and Green Wheel Hens and Chicks. That's the collection of plants that I bought at the nursery, but I also have some things around the garden that I'm going to be able to move into this lower patio garden. This azalea, the poor thing, it's really sparse and thin, but that's because it's been transplanted, I believe, 4 times lately, including the last time. It used to be up around those Dragon Lady hollies, but to do the construction, the guys moved it down here temporarily. So this is a Sherwood orchid azalea. I have 3 others of them. One here, one way over there, and one a little further up the hill. So this can be part of the patio garden. Also, this Blue Point Juniper, which is roughly 5 feet, maybe 5.5 feet tall right now. This can be part of our plan as well. Back here I have a white azalea whose name I don't know. And I believe this is, I don't know if that's a Sherwood orchid one or if it's a different color of pink. This azalea could also be used in the patio garden as well. I lost some shrubs along the fence here. I'm considering kind of from here back, not part of the project that I'm working on today. We're going to start with the Blue Point Juniper. I think it's going to go right here where I've got this tutor that I made out of willow and bamboo. I put the tutor there as a placeholder to see if I wanted a pyramid shape in this bed. This is my Chinese snowball viburnum. It's going to be limbed up. It is being limbed up. It'll eventually be a small tree with the limbs up in this area. This is a Loropetalum, ever red variety. This one is kind of on the hit list. We'll see if this one survives the winter and if it flushes out a little bit better. If not, this is getting replaced next year. This is the azalea that matches the one that we're talking about right over there. Sherwood orchid, and I just moved that there. And so you saw in a video recently, the dogs are on a hunt, that I cleaned out this area pretty thoroughly, removed a bunch of stuff, transplanted a bunch of stuff, and I left in this penstemon, that's Husker red penstemon. But I think right here is going to be a great spot for that juniper, that Blue Point. We come through the arbor here, and it would serve as a nice kind of a pillar, and you'll have to walk around it as it grows bigger, and it hides from view the patio a little bit, and then it reveals. I think that's a good plan. So we're going to put the Blue Point Juniper right here. Dave's here to help me. He looks so happy about it. Oh, yes. Okay, so right down there, please. Well, it took me 2 tries, but I got it where I want it. You can see on this side, it's much, much fuller of branches and new growth than it is on this side. In fact, it looks like the poor tree was up against a wall. It wasn't up against a wall, but it was in an area where it wasn't getting full sun all day. It was only getting full sun on the side where the growth happened, and the other side was part sun. So what I've done is make an executive decision here. I've decided to put the flat side on the back and the full side toward the patio, because once again, as I said in a different video, you're going to view a lot of this garden from the patio more than any other view. So I want it to look the best on the patio side. So the sun in the summer will hit this side more, and so next year this should fill out and become as full and lush as the other side. So that's my wish anyway. I think it's a good place. Now, when you come through this arbor, you see this rose arbor, which needs a little love and attention, and then you see my beautiful favorite hydrangea, and you see this pyramid-shaped evergreen, and so it will kind of serve as a little bit of mystery about what's around the corner. I don't know. Of course, right now you can see what's around the corner, but you know, as this grows up and gets thicker and fuller, that will block this view here, and then I'll just continue to think about what to do about blocking this view here. Maybe we'll get something tall here as well. I don't know. For now, I'm liking it with just the penstemon there and nothing else yet, but we'll think about that as the time comes nearer. All right, so that's that. Now walking around over here, Along this fence line, we have the Dragon Lady hollies, which I love, and they're staying there. Those will get tall and narrow. They'll stay, especially if you prune them. But even if you don't prune them, it'll take them a long time to get big, and they'll stay tall and narrow. So I have about 3 feet between the patio and the fence here that I'd like to put something. And then the patio curves and the hill goes more dramatically downhill. So it's a bit of a drop off, especially in this area. So I'm thinking about what I'm going to put in this space right here. And these Marvel Mahonia are exactly what I need for this location. These will both grow to be 3 to 4 feet wide, so that's perfect. I can prune them to keep them off of the patio if I want to. And they'll grow to be 5 to 6 feet tall. So at maturity, they'll be about this big around. So if I put them 3 feet apart, they will blend together into one plant, 6 feet tall, maybe 5 feet, I don't know, and 3 or 4 feet wide, which would be about 6 or 8 feet wide. So I think that that's going to be a nice addition right here. Actually, maybe scoot them away from that. I don't want the holly to be mixed in with that. So that. How's that look? Yeah, I think this is where these Mahonia are going to be planted. Yay! Hooray for decisions. I think those look really good right there. In fact, they look so good, I might get a third, maybe even a fourth or a fifth. I don't know. What do you think? One thought I have is to continue with a third one here and then put another Blue Point Juniper, and then we'd have the Gold Dust Akuba. And it might take actually the Juniper here and then maybe 2 more of these Marvel Mahonias. Or I could just get 3 more Marvel Mahonias and put them in there and just have a solid wall of Mahonia along here. But I kind of like the idea of having another Blue Point in here for some vertical interest and a different color, and just echoing this shape over on this other side. So maybe a Blue Point kind of in the soil, like in front of the line of Gold Dust, right here maybe, like right there, and then have maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 more Mahonias coming in behind it. So the Blue Point would kind of be out of the line, not exactly in the line, but kind of in front of it. I don't know. What do you guys think? What should I do here? I don't have any more plants. I don't have any more Mahonias right now, and I'm on a budget. I'm on a spending freeze at the moment, so don't really want to be buying any more plants there, but I think I'll be saving room for that eventual plan. But in the meantime, it can change. The plans can change. By the way, plans change even when you're in the middle of planting. So let me know what you think. Should I fill this up with Mahonia? Should I put a Blue Point Juniper in there to echo the one across or not? Should I maybe pull the Gold Dust, put more Gold Dust in here? Let me know what you think. And don't forget, I still have this beautiful Pieris japonica that I want to put in, and I still have at least one. I could take some more of these azaleas. Actually, I have an encore azalea in a pot up there that I could use. I actually have 2 encore azaleas. I just don't think this is enough sun for encore azaleas, but these Sherwood orchid ones do well down in this area. So I could be putting this Pieris in there. I could be putting the 2 azaleas, maybe 3 azaleas. I also have ideas for, maybe this is a great place for more hydrangeas. I don't currently have any hydrangeas down in here because I've moved the 3 that I had in pots. I moved them up the hill. So also, I should tell you what my thoughts are for this area back here. Okay, I've put you on the wide angle lens, even though it's terrible for me looking good, but it's good to get the idea of what I want to do here. So this right here, about 2 or 3 feet wide is going to be the path that leads you off the back of the patio up to what is currently the grass path over behind the rose arbor. So this will definitely be a path. I don't know yet if it's going to be stepping stones or if I'm going to put grass in here or if I'm going to just leave it as mulch, maybe a different color of mulch, maybe I'll line it with something to define it. I don't know. But anyway, a 2 or 3 foot wide walking path that curves back around here up to this grass. That means this is planting area, but it's a large planting area and it seems like a waste to just leave it as only planting area. So I'm thinking that I will also have a little footpath, like stepping stones the size of my head or less, that comes off of this walking path and kind of meanders back and around in here. And then it would come back up kind of secretly over here. So there would be another way to enjoy the garden back in here. So that means that I can densely plant here. Like this wouldn't be too close together in my view. Even as the gold dust grows a little bit, I can prune it so that just one person can walk around back in here. And that way I can have more planting area. Hooray, that's always good. And also maybe a little secret thing, although the stuff here would have to be pretty tall to make this secret. And I don't know how they'll do under a redbud tree. But anyway, so I want to leave room for a little loopy walking path here. So with that in mind, where should I put this azalea? Where should I put this azalea? Should I leave it here? Where should I put this azalea? Should I leave it here? What should I replace these dead shrubs with? I'm thinking arborvitae, although this is a pretty shady area, so maybe not arborvitae. Maybe something tall and skinny. Tall and skinny as a wall, a hedge, hide things here, hide this fence and hide the neighbors. So that's what I'm thinking about right now. I want something tall and thin here that's shade loving with morning sun only because that's the only sun it would get. And then what to do with these azaleas, this azalea, and the Japanese Andromeda. And is there room for any hydrangeas in this area? I don't have to do this all today, of course. I don't have the plants to do it all today. But I want to plant the things I'm going to plant now. Maybe I wouldn't have to move them once I get this idea fleshed out. Of course, I'm not afraid to move plants, but if you can leave them in, that's better for them. So let's think. I'm thinking. Oh, I like today. I'm making quick progress. We got the Mahonia there. I do believe I'm going to put at least one more, maybe 2 or 3 more Mahonias along this fence. Put the azalea right there up against the patio. It is on the top of the slope, so I am building up around it, and I'll probably maybe pull up some big rocks to put behind it as well to keep the soil on its feet. And then over here, I got the Pieris japonica put in. And there's plenty of room here for my path, plus something planted in front of it low. So that'll be nice. This is a pile of violets that I'm deciding whether I want to cultivate and put around this tree for something pretty next spring, or if I'm just going to dump them. I don't know. If I'm deciding right now, I'm just going to dump them, but maybe I'll wait till after I eat lunch to decide that. All right, I'm feeling really good about how I got the shrubs placed. So now let me turn my attention to placing the perennials. I'm planting these bleeding hearts right underneath this redbud tree. And I did the same with this Pieris actually. And I ended up, it was perfectly placed for this shrub because I had two roots from this that were coming out and making this little triangle area. And I nestled this right down in between those. So I'm hoping that there are no roots underneath where I want, but if there are, I'll just adjust. I'm not going to try to cut any roots of this redbud tree. That would be not a good idea. Oh, I think I hit one right there. Let's try here. Yeah. So just adjust a little bit if you need to. Yeah, there's a root right here. So I'm just going to avoid that and scoot over. Soil's pretty dry. Now, that's the other thing about planting underneath a tree. I'm going to have to irrigate down here with drip because the tree roots will suck the water down and the plants will suffer. So anytime you plant underneath tree roots, you've got to figure out how you're going to keep your plants wet. Whether you use drought-tolerant plants, which would be smart, or you do irrigation or hand water or whatever, but you got to keep any plants that you put under a tree nice and moist. All right, so because I had to adjust that way, these are probably going to move as well. So probably pull that one out like that. These are supposed to be planted 18 inches apart, I think. Is that what it said? Maybe 12 inches apart. 18 inches apart. So from the center of this plant to the center of this plant should be about 18 inches. Well, this root is not from this tree. This is from an old shrub, so don't have to worry about that. But here is a tree root right here. Don't want to disturb that. The branches of these are pretty fragile, so I'm trying not to break any, but I did break a couple accidentally. Well, I made some good progress this morning, and then I took a break for lunch, did a few things inside the house. Now it's about 2:30 in the afternoon. The sun has come around the tree and now is coming down on this lower patio. So it's actually a very beautiful situation going on down here. I have 3 more perennials I want to get into the ground. Those are those Japanese anemone. Let me show you where I think I'm going to put them. I think I'm going to tuck them in here between the Chinese snowball, between this arborvitae, and between the rose arbor over there. 3 of them, all of them should spread and turn into a nice big mounding clump. And I think I like this location because when you look up from the top part too, you can kind of see them poking around there. In fact, let me scoot them and see if I want to scoot them a little to the left from this view. All right, so now they're in really nice shape from this perspective. Now we have to go back down to the patio, see how they look from down here. Oh yeah, that's where they're gonna go. That way I can enjoy them from more than one vantage point. And this gives me some room here to do something else. Now these grow to be 12 to 18 inches tall. So in their cans, they're about 6 or 8 inches taller than they're really going to be. So they won't really interfere with the viburnum at all. In fact, they'll almost turn into somewhat of a low ground cover. Now that's what I call a good day's work. I've been working, I would say, if I took out all the breaks that I took, it was about 2.5, 3 hours or so. I'm a slow mover in the garden, but I planted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shrubs, or actually 4 shrubs and a small evergreen tree, and I planted 6 perennials, and I moved a couple of things. I say that's a good day's work. Let's see how the patio is looking now. Starting over here on this side by the fence, we have the 2 Marvel Mahonia, and I really think that those are going to be a beautiful thing, nice and frothy and 5 or 6 feet tall in the end. It'll probably take a couple of years to get there, but hopefully they'll be fast growers and they'll kind of make a nice big block of beautiful greenery right here. And I may end up in the future getting some more of them to put down along here. I'd love your thoughts on what you think I should do with this border area right here. I put in this azalea. This used to be temporarily planted back over there. I pulled it up over here. It's right on the back edge of the patio, and I think it's going to be pretty blooming there in the spring. Then these are the 3 Dicentra exemia, or cut leaf bleeding hearts, that I put down here in a sort of a ring around the redbud tree trunk. And then right behind that is the Scarlet O'Hara Pieris japonica, and it is already making me happy being back there. I left space for my pathway that's going to go around here, which will lead you around to see where this Blue Point Juniper is now standing proudly. A nice pyramid shape after we had these lower growing mounding shrubs. This shrub here, as I said before, the Laura petalum, it may not live there forever. I'm going to give it one more season, see if it pulls through. If not, I'll replace that with something else. But in the meantime, we'll give it a shot. So we have the azalea, the Laura petalum, Chinese snowball, and that Blue Point. I think those are a nice combination. I would like to get a little bit of chartreuse color in here, but as it is right now, it's looking pretty good. And then back over this way, I put in those anemones, kind of so that they're viewable from up in the lawn area and also viewable from here. And they have those beautiful pink flowers with the yellow centers, and I already see pollinators starting to come onto them. And taking the long view, it's starting to come together. There's still a lot of work to be done, still a lot of imagination that you have to use to fully appreciate what the patio is going to be in the future. But for now, it's a good start. Thanks so much for spending your day with me today. I've had a wonderful time gardening this morning and this afternoon, and I'm so grateful to have you as my company as I do this work. I hope you enjoyed what you saw, and I hope that you're having a wonderful day in your garden, friends. Take care, and I'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.